Hey, and it should read that we are live in a moment. Testing, 1 2 1 2. A moment, gonna check the other headset. Blueberry muffins. Okay, yep, we're good. Also, not to mention, I sound crisper. Huh. That's interesting. I sound crisper than usual, but anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're already fucking up, aren't we? So, no inscription today because due to unforeseen circumstances, I wasn't able to make the meal that I wanted to. So I had to do something else for my dinner today. Ergo, why I'm back on Destiny 2. However, I did want to talk about a theory that I had concerning the next seasons and the overall arcing narrative that is going to come out of Destiny 2 in that time frame. So, let me start by saying that everything I'm about to say is probably fucking wrong. I know that there's leaks out, and I've been barely exposed to any of them. So I would like to point out that, you know, I would keep as fair and free of leaks as humanly possible, because truth be told, I haven't seen the leaks. However, knowing what we know about the next season, we can make a couple, what the term I'm looking for, educated guesses. So, first off, we are going to need to discuss what happened this season, Season of Defiance, before we go and talk about what's going to be coming from it. So, let's start with what happened in Season of Defiance. In Season of Defiance and Lightfall, because the stuff that happened in Lightfall is going to pertain to the discussion here today. We faced off against the Witness, and a lot of the Guardian forces got their asses handed to them. Basically, the non-player characters pretty much lost. That's the travel. No, that's why if you load... I love this bug so much. Feet. But... our allied forces lost us to travel.
I know you're...
And because of that, we still have the light, which is interesting, and it's starting to bring some questions to the surface. That can roll with reconstruction. That's disgusting. I need to see what else I can roll with. Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. Because I definitely seen like a vase point that out, and I'm like, I'm not the only one to notice that. If remember, if one of the major lore people on, what, like this whole entire game points something like that out, it's kind of important. So, note, Evades and I like, I'm not saying I'm an important lore person, Evades is. But, yeah, like, that's something that we need to talk about. Oh, the Traveler's dead. However, we have the powers of the light still. Hi, light. Oh, little lights of Angel. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, so there's a lot that can be said about what happened in Lightfall. But the main points are Callus is dead. The Traveler has that weird giant pyramid or that weird giant triangle in it. Which, by the way, if you look at the original launch materials for the whole entire Lightfall, you would actually see something that looks a lot like this, except for instead of it being a rainbow pyramid or rainbow triangle, it was a black triangle, informing a pyramid shape. However, now it's not that, now it's rainbow. Because gay pride, baby. Let's go. In all seriousness, we have no idea why it's rainbow. I wish I had an answer for that, but we don't. Then, in season... Considering that I'm not actually talking about it, I'm actually going to run a Defiant Battlegrounds. In the seasonal activity, we came across a message from a terminal from Mara Sov. She was back at the farm, and she basically was asking us to come home. Because things have gone to shit. And the Shadow Legion had started abducting people from the last city. Now, we go back and we get inducted into the Queen's Guard. A group of warriors heightened by Queen Marisov's capabilities. To the point where, no, it's even the title for the season. Week over week, for 4 weeks, we helped jailbreak our civilian populace that had been taken by the Shadow Legion. And we rescued as many of them as humanly possible. Ultimately, Amanda Holiday paid the ultimate price, having saved a bunch of civilians and Mithrax, all of House Light,
can't believe Amanda's
preventing
really
his
gone.
death.
Who's more worthy of being resurrected in the light?
Even if she was, she would no longer be Amanda. That's a different kind of pain altogether. But we cannot change the past. We can only honor her sacrifice by completing her mission.
The Witness's forces are dug in. The longer we leave them, the stronger their fortifications will become.
Then we'd better get rid of them. Guardian, give them a Vanguard welcome, will you?
So, I don't think that voice line is supposed to be there yet. I think that voice line basically that's indicated that, like, yep, Aldrin's gonna definitely become the Hunter Vanguard by the end of the season. But yeah, so that is pretty much Season of Defiance. Oh, also, Aramis rescued, Mithrax. Seemingly wanting to just say, fuck the light, fuck the dark, I'm done. Which, no, we kind of knew that's how she was feeling since back in, I want to say, Season of Seraph, when we got the dungeon, the Fire or the Watcher. Because there was those audio logs basically in the beginning. He filled the Witness in Splendor, and as punishment, the Witness resurrected a dead friend of ours, Spilax, and turned him into a Scorn. So he wasn't too enthused by that. I mean, you can most certainly boot up D2. But the main thing is that we've known that for a while, that he's getting sick and tired of this light versus dark bullshit. And that Duke does, he just wants to be free of it. He doesn't care more about vengeance against the Traveler. He just wants to eat. He's that friend at the party that is just like, you know what, that's enough for me. Which, You know, that's definitely going to play into a theory later. But for now, let's talk about the next season. Because we know a shocking amount about something concerning that season. We know the name of it. We know it's called Season of the Deep. In this season, we also know that we're going to be getting a dungeon and not a raid. That's going to happen whenever they are announcing the final shape. That's going to be the thing that they announce when, you know, we enter into the end game. So, because we're not in the end game now, I hate how people do this. Whatever.
Quite drab, this place. Trostland looks a right treat compared to this shambles.
It was not always so. The existence of
Moment.
the ley lines point to a grandeur in this place, now lost to history.
Bit like my church, that. War makes ruins of us all.
Once again, look at Bungie being very philosophical on the nature of war. But yeah, there's a lot with this whole entire year of content that I have a feeling that we can already kind of tell what's going to happen. So, let's cut the chaff from the wheat. What's going to happen in Season of the Deep? Well, see, we know two things about the Veil. One, Savathun stole it from the ship of Nezarec and hid it on Neptune. And two, it's a source of mass primordial paracausal energy. You can actually pay attention to that. Also, a lot of people refer to it, namely the Cloud Striders, actually refer to it as a Gendor Torn. So that one's less important. That might just be just how they work. But it's still an interesting thing to call out.
The taken fortifications
Finally,
ahead
we
seem
do
much more
know
organized
another
than the
thing,
ones in
and this is
Trostland.
also a
Are they
bit
acting under
important
orders?
as well.
To obey an order
Savathun
implies
knew
choice, the possibility of dissent.
about the Veil
The Taken have no
being
such
there.
discretion.
And-
They are
'cause
merely
that's
acting
how
in concert
Osiris
with
knew.
a greater will, an external
Osiris's
instinct, as it
mind
were.
link back in Season of Plunder broke with Savathun thanks to the cords that was on Nezarec's pieces. We don't need to go into it, but short version, Nezarec was killed by Savathun. I mentioned that a moment ago.
Insult to our
Well, I
house.
mentioned that she sold the belt.
Unleash your light and free it
But-
from its suffering.
She caused his remains for some reason, mainly if I had to take a guess, to ward off his power to seemingly resurrect himself, which that's not confirmed in the lore. We do not have confirmation that he can revive himself. We just know that because he's dead doesn't mean that he's dead. Yes, that statement is very confusing. I recognize that. However, that's the best way I can think of putting it, so we're just gonna go with that. Oh wait, I just realized I don't have my machine gun like how I normally do. Shit. Finally, we know without certainty that we are going to have a quest involving the Veil next season. Now, this story is, or this mission about the Veil is apparently going to be substantial enough to where we are going to learn what the Veil is, what does it do, and all of that, according to Bungie. However, we also do not have, like I said, proof that it's going to do all that, because you would also think that they would do that on the storyline. We do know that we're going to get the hand cannon that the Hunter, you can see the Hunter and then the key art Odie. So, At least we know that much. So, there's one entity in the Destiny universe that knows the most about the Val. It's Savathun, the Witch Queen. Problem, we killed her. Savathun is very dead. So, that means that we just lost our greatest bank of knowledge concerning the Val, right? No. Maru still lives. There is a... I can't remember if it's a lore tab or... Oh no, I know what it is. It's from the book. Like, one of the collected different books that came in with Lightfall. Where it basically is from the point of view of Osiris, as he's worried that... Or... His point of view of Osiris, when Ikora brought him to Ghirra's shell to see how he would react. In which case, sure enough, he acted like somebody who lost a friend
As long as we stick
would.
together, we'll be unstoppable.
Because
Unfortunately, this
that's
may
what
also
she
be
is.
true for the witness.
Ghirra
No
was
doubt it relies
Osiris'
on its
friend.
disciples, just as the Traveler relies on its guardians.
But with Osiris having lost his
This
friend,
prison is filled
he
with a
grieves.
miasma of darkness, a fetid yearning for the end of all things.
Only the light can banish it. Amplify its effects by activating the veil fires.
Use them to consecrate the taken essences and turn their energies against them.
Yeah, we know. Anyway, like I was saying, so my guess for Season of the Deep, our enemy is going to be none other than Zebra Wrath, because the Deep, all in its entirety, deals with the Hive. That's all it is, that's all it deals with. It just deals with the Hive, the end. We are going to try to either find Immaru, who has taken up shelter on Titan, and we are going to be working probably with Immaru to bring Savathun back. We need that information on the Val. We need to know what it is. We need to know how to follow the witness. We're basically setting up more or less the Infinity War. No, this would be like the point where our heroes would be discovering, like, how, or not Infinity War, Endgame. This would be the point of Endgame where we are discovering, like, how to do time travel and all that, so we can do a time heist. Wait, did it not pick up? I hate you, Bungie. I literally do not... Oh wait, no, he threw it. Never mind. I retract that previous statement. Throw in that one. Yay. But yeah, that's what I think Season of the Deep is going to be. Now, it's also going to be a very grim thing for me to say. Something tells... What the fuck? You're not supposed to be down here. It's also going to be a very grim thing for me to say, but I'm pretty sure we're also going to be losing one of our allies in this entire year. So, who do I think we're going to lose? I think we're going to lose Amanda Holiday. Oh no. Amanda Holiday. Wow. Haha. We're going to lose Anna Bright. Bro, how the fuck did you die? Like, you revived and instantly got gibbed. What the fuck? Dipshit, I was already working on it. So, the reason why I think we're gonna lose Anna Bright is because, yes, Anna has no love for Savathun, and particularly I'm going to be talking about who I think is going to be involved with our little reviving Savathun Vets quest. Which, oh boy, do we got a cast of characters who really dislike the Witch Queen. Like that's, like, it's going to be an interesting season if I'm right. So,
I worry for Crow.
let's
We all
talk about the person who I think is going to die. Because,
grief is a great
no,
anger.
Grief is a sharp blade. Used as a weapon, it cuts even the wielder. But sometimes the only paths remaining to us are painful ones.
okay, so who do I think is going to be the, like, why do I think that Amanda's going to die? Amanda as a character now is freaking pointless. And I mean that with the utmost respect to her in the lore. Her in the lore, she is a very important character. However, in the wonderful world of Destiny as a whole now, she lost her ultimate reason to be with the death of Rasputin. Now, there's another reason why I think that this is going to be the main reason, or the main characters that are going to happen and take place in the role. I think that the characters are going to be broken up into the characters that were on the ship. So, in Lightfall, you have a delightful cutscene at the very beginning where you see Osiris, Mara, Zavala, Ikora, the Exo Stranger, and Eris all on the helm as everything goes down. In fact, I can almost show you the point, or like the area that they were standing at. Because it looked like they were standing either in a different helm or in the helm around where the war table would be, but it looked like it was in the ground. You can tell mainly because of the point of view that we have on the Traveler. Once again, it may be why it's actually, like, no, the main thing I'm about to show is probably the main reason why. Like, no, there's no breaking the glass. So, most likely a helm from a different perspective on here. Oh, hi. But that's my thoughts on it. We could be on the same helm that they were on, but oh, also found a bug, yay. It could also just be like sheer coincidence. Either way, those characters over the year are going to be important to the story in some way or another. This season we got Mara. And I'm going to go ahead and also chalk up and say we got Zavala. Something tells me Zavala is going to be back to play a bigger role in probably the season leading into the final shape. That's my guess. Next season, I think it's going to be Eris. No, Eris has the body of the Witch Queen Savathun and has literally vivisected it. It's been cut into pieces, it's been destroyed. We know that or not destroyed, so to speak, but we know that it's been damaged. Let's see, where is it? Seasons. We know that because of the story in the Eidolon Pursuant. Or, if I'm not mistaken, it might actually be from the artifact from that season. When I find it, that is. I'm actually missing it. Oh, it would be right here, but for some reason it's not. But that right there tells us that, you know, Savathun learned how to use the Crown of Sorrow, which used to be right over here, to more or less find out how to use the Crown of Sorrow from Savathun's corpse. Which, note, it had writing on it, as if Savathun knew. So, Eris would definitely be involved because it involves the Hive God of Lies. Next up, we have none other than Osiris, who is going to be involved. His thoughts for knowledge on the Veil is going to basically bring him into the limelight. But it also means that he has to confront his captor, or the person who captured him and tortured him. Even though, allegedly, they made a deal. So, we will definitely be hearing from Mara throughout the season, but I highly doubt that it's going to involve her. Who it will involve, though, is Anna and maybe even Elsie. The reason why I say those two is, if we are going back to Titan, fun fact, and not a lot of people know about this, the arcology on Titan was actually a Clovis Bray installation. Now, it's not like the ones we see on Europa, or the ones that we see on Mars, or even the ones like the Seraph bunkers that we find under Earth, or even on the moon. No, this was a different type. This was a display of like what Clovis Bray had to offer. It was made using Siva, and it is incredibly fascinating when you stop and think about it that way. So, wherever though like Clovis Bray's name is involved, those two are not far behind. Now, my guess is that we are going to be trying to revive Savathun. And if I actually had to take a bet on something, we're going there because of the Leviathan. So, anybody who has played Destiny 2 knows that the ship, the Leviathan, is a major thing for Calus. But wait, why am I talking about that? Why am I talking about the Hive? There's a different type of Leviathan in the game, though. And this is something that I kind of blame Bungie for. Albeit, the ship was named after a Leviathan that was on Tor Bottle, or at least one of the Anatheum wards of the Cabal. But with this Leviathan, it is a very powerful creature, normally serving the Traveler, normally having great ancestral information. But that's all we really know about it. And I don't know if Bungie's going to pull that gun, if that makes sense. To me, it makes more sense that Amaru had taken up resonance on Titan, because Titan was owned by Savathun's forces. The main thing that makes me think that we're going to be seeing them is this park right here. Harmonic resonance from the Rufus's Fury in the beautiful Root of Nightmares raid. Well, actually, all the raid weapons have this, but we're looking at my Rufus's. Equipping multiple weapons from this set grant this weapon increased reload speed and handling. It also deals increased damage versus Tormentors, the main enemy that came in Lightfall, Lucid Hive, which we haven't really seen that much of since the Witch Queen, and Guardians using their super. Now, that last one, the Lucid Hive, could literally just be like, oh hey, it's because, like Grandmaster Nightfall. This is to help you with the one Grandmaster Nightfall that they actually appear in, the Light Blade. I don't think that's the case, though. Like, my guess and this is 100% my guess, we're going to see Lucent Hive around Titan. We're going to see Lucent Hive throughout the depths of Titan. They're going to be trying to protect Immaru, which, no, that brings us to why I think Ana Bray is going to die. Ultimately, we capture Immaru, we force him to revive Savathun, and then we kill Immaru. More or less trapping the Witch Queen without her Soulfire, because that's a power of the darkness, without her ghost, and thus the power of the light. And we need to get her out of there at that point. So, what we do is we get Savathun out of there and start running. However, our opposite side opponent, the fourth other witness for that season, Xivu Arath, will definitely be onto our plan and will be coming for us at that point. Making somebody have to ultimately sacrifice themselves in order to slow down Xivu Arath. Ana, who has a score to settle because Xivu ultimately was the cause of the death of Rasputin, wanting revenge, goes and tries to duel her, and ultimately dies as a result. She beats Xivu and thinks that she's won. However, you can't beat, like, this settled something that a lot of people had in mind, that you cannot kill the Hive God of War with war. War is not the answer to beating Xivu. There's another way of killing her that will make her stay dead. If anything, war would just make her stronger. So, ultimately, we had Savathun. Savathun's going to tell us how we can reverse the game to make us win. Because very much in Lightfall we lost. My next guess is that season over season we are going to lose 2 more people. Just to hammer it home that this is the end. Like I said, season of Defiance we lost Amanda. Also, in the Defiance Battleground they did confirm that as well. In Season of the Deep, my guess is that we are going to lose Ana Bray, which is also going to deal a blow against none other than the Exo Stranger. Because, note, the Exo Stranger's entire deal is he wants to keep her sister alive. Well, there's not going to be a reset this time. Ana's going to die. And there's going to be nothing for the Exo Stranger to do that can stop it. Either that, or the Exo Stranger dies saving Ana, further cementing the fact that Ana is alone. But someone's still going to die, all the same. Then, season afterwards, if I had to take a guess, this is going to be the season pertaining to the Fallen. Primarily the Scorn, where we're going to finally learn the fate of Fikrul. And possibly even have to duel it out amongst the meteors of the Tangled Shore once more. However, in that story, I believe Aramis or Ido is going to die. Now, note, why do I say those two? Aramis betrayed the Witness, meaning that she could now be hunted by her now former allies. Note, she saved Mithrax. That kind of points to the fact that she's no longer working for the Witness. However, there's going to be a whole entire another reason why we go out there to that area, to the Tango Shore. The Tango Shore had a obelisk on it. One of the ones from the season of the Year Dawn, where we brought back Saint 14. Something tells me we're going to need those because I think we're going to be doing our own time heist. Going back through the corridors of time and ultimately stopping our ghost. Ultimately undoing the changes that happened over the year. But remember, anything that happens inside the corridors of time branches out to affect reality. Finally, we have the conclusion of this year. Oh, also, didn't mention Ido. With Ido, I think the whole entire season is going to be focusing on turning Mithrax into the Calicals at the heart of it. He's either going to sink into a blood-soaked rage, or he's going to overcome grief, as it were. I don't know, that's my thoughts on it. That one, Jupiter Toad, is the weakest out of all of them, by a long shot. So, once again, that's all I have for that. Finally, we have the penultimate season. That is if anything, I think that will be the one where we actually go into the corridors of time. But we are ultimately going to connect ourselves to the veil in some mannerism. And we are going to follow after the witness. So for that one, I'm definitely going to take a guess here and say that the character that is going to die, there's only one character remaining. It's going to be Ikora. It's either Ikora or it would be Osiris. But Osiris is safe. Because of one thing and one thing only. He can't be dead and be a quest giver on Neomuna. Truth be told, Ikora hasn't really done that much in a while. The only thing that she really does is the fact that she is a vendor in the tower that you can go get aspects and fragments from. Hey, Tort, welcome in. Truth be told, that is a very weak connection, and if anything, I don't think that's 100% accurate. I would need to reassess things as we get closer to the expansion before the final shape. However, that's my thoughts on it. So to recap, here's what has happened and here's what is going to happen. In Lightfall, the Traveler gets spliced open by the Witness, leaving this weird giant pyramid on it, or triangle. And all the pyramid ships and the Witness enter into the Traveler. Season of Defiance, Amanda Holiday pays the ultimate price as we rescue civilians. Time and time again, we have lost our pilot Ace of the Last City. Then, Season of the Deep, we're going to try to revive Savathun on Titan. However, Anna Bray pays the ultimate price by ultimately dying to buy us some time as we get a now mortal Savathun out. So we can cage her and force her to tell us the truth. The season after that, I believe we are going back to the Tango Shore in order to both either defend Aramis while also getting the resources we need to rebuild the hourglass, and either we fail in our job and Aramis dies, or alternatively, we succeed to defend Aramis and Ido dies instead. Then the final season. We make our way back to Mercury, now that it has been returned to our system. And we are going to try to go through the corridors of time to the moment when the link happened and try to stop it. Or, alternatively, we're back to where we can link ourselves to the Veil, allowing us to follow after the Witness. And that's how we go through the glowy vagina on the Traveler. Awesome. I actually had to leave. But that is my thoughts on it. Once again, we have a bit of time during that season. 42 days to be exact. We have the rest of April. We have March. Let me actually take a look real quick, because I'm actually curious. 7, 14. So we're 6 weeks out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it starts on the 23rd of May. So we had till the 23rd of May for more things to come to light about this next season of Destiny content. Would I be right? Would I most likely be wrong? Yes. But nevertheless, it's an interesting thought. I would advise looking into the lore if you are interested in any of what I said. The Ishtar Academy is a wonderful website. It works very well to help teach people the lore of Destiny 2. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of reading. But, at the same point in time, it's a really powerful resource. There's also, of course, Evase. I know I mentioned him during the video. But you also have Mind in the Games. You also have My Name is Bife. They are basically the big lore trio of the whole entire Destiny universe, with particularly My Name is Bife being the lore daddy himself. Then, last but not least, you have Evan F., 1994, I believe, who is more or less the chronicler for the community, but some of the stuff that the community has done has affected the game. Either way, though, this is all supposition. We know nothing to be true. All we know, the Witness is gone inside the Traveler. There is no way for us to follow him. And that the end is coming. The light has fallen, and now, all that remains is the final shape. That's all for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you all a good night and good luck.